Nobody warns you about what happens the day you make the final mortgage payment. Not the financial advisors who helped you buy the house. Not the friends who have been watching you make sacrifices for years to accelerate the payoff. Not the personal finance books that explain the mathematics of mortgage amortization in exhausting detail without ever telling you what it actually feels like when it is over. What nobody tells you is that paying off your house does not just change your finances. It changes the way you move through the world. It changes how you make decisions. It changes your relationship with risk, with time, with work, and with money itself in ways that no other financial milestone produces. Stay with me through this entire video because the final change I'm going to describe, the one that most people who have paid off their house say surprised them the most, is not financial at all. It is psychological. And it is the reason that people who pay off their homes early rarely regret it regardless of what the spreadsheet says. That is coming at the end. Do not skip ahead. Let's get into it. The math changes completely. The most immediate and most visible change after your final mortgage payment is what happens to your monthly cash flow, and the number is almost always more shocking than people expect, even when they knew it intellectually. The average mortgage payment in most Western countries represents somewhere between 25 and 40% of the household's take-home income. For many households, it is higher. When that payment disappears entirely, the effect on monthly cash flow is not incremental. It is transformative. Money that was obligated, committed before the month even began, leaving before you could direct it anywhere, suddenly becomes yours to deploy. The same income that felt tight before the payoff feels abundant after it. Not because anything about your earnings has changed. Because the largest fixed obligation in your budget has been permanently eliminated. The first month after payoff, most people do not quite believe it. They check the account. They look at the balance and look at the statement and look at the balance again. The mortgage company has not made a mistake. The money is simply still there because there is nowhere it had to go. That feeling of surplus where scarcity used to live does not fade quickly. It compounds. Your relationship with work shifts. This is the change that surprises people most in the first year after payoff, and it is one that almost nobody predicts going in. When your home is paid off, work becomes a choice in a way it was not before. Not immediately in most cases. Most people still have expenses, still have goals, still need income to fund their lives. But the fundamental relationship with employment changes because the most catastrophic possible outcome of losing a job has changed. Before payoff, losing your income meant potentially losing your home. The mortgage was the floor beneath your financial life, and if you could not make the payment, the floor could give way. That threat, even when unspoken, even when operating entirely below conscious awareness, shapes how people feel about their jobs, their bosses, their working hours, and their willingness to take professional risks. After payoff, the floor is permanent. You own the floor. Nobody can take it from you as long as you pay the property taxes. Losing income becomes a serious problem rather than an existential crisis. That shift in the stakes changes how you carry yourself at work, what you are willing to say, what risks you are willing to take, and what you are no longer willing to accept. People who pay off their homes frequently report negotiating better salaries, leaving toxic work environments, starting businesses, or pursuing careers they actually wanted but had been too financially exposed to risk. The house did not create those opportunities. Owning it outright removed the fear that was preventing them from seeing the opportunities that were already there. The way you think about money changes. Before payoff, every financial decision exists in the shadow of the mortgage. The question underneath every question is always the same. Can I afford to do this and still make the payment? After payoff, that question dissolves. In its place, something quieter and more expansive arrives. You begin thinking about money not as something to be managed tightly against a fixed obligation, but as something to be directed toward building, toward investing, toward living, toward giving. The monthly cash flow that used to disappear into the mortgage now creates a genuine choice that most people have never had before in their adult lives. You can invest it and accelerate wealth building dramatically. You can use it to fund experiences. You can give more than you have ever given. You can work less. You can save for something specific without the background noise of the mortgage constant in every calculation. Old money families understand this shift instinctively, which is why they counsel their children to eliminate debt before pursuing aggressive investment. The clarity of a debt-free financial foundation is not just mathematical. It is cognitive. You think better about money when you are not thinking about money under pressure. Your time horizon extends. Something subtle and profound happens to the way you think about the future after your home is paid off. Before payoff, the mortgage is a 30-year clock, or 25, or 15, depending on your term, counting down in the background of every financial plan. Everything is measured relative to it. Retirement planning, investment timelines, career decisions. All of them have the mortgage lurking in the background as a constraint that defines the shape of what is possible. When the clock stops, your time horizon expands. Without a fixed obligation anchoring your financial life to a particular timeline, you begin thinking further forward and more freely. The question stops being, how do I manage through the mortgage years, and becomes, what do I want the next 30 years of my life to actually look like? This extension of time horizon is one of the reasons that people who pay off their homes early tend to build significantly more wealth in the years following payoff than in the years before it, not just because of the cash flow freed up, but because of the quality of thinking that becomes possible when the mortgage constraint is removed. The psychological change nobody predicts. And here is the change I promised you. The one that surprises people the most. The one that has nothing to do with numbers. The day you make the final mortgage payment, something changes in your body before your brain has fully processed what has happened. People describe it differently, as a loosening, as a weightlifting, as a deep exhale after years of holding breath they did not know they were holding. Some people cry. Not from sadness. From the sudden absence of a pressure so constant and so long-standing that it had become indistinguishable from the background of their lives. You did not know how heavy the mortgage was until it was gone. The financial pressure of a mortgage operates in a part of the brain that does not communicate clearly with the conscious mind. It is always there, always calculating, always running a low-level threat assessment that costs more cognitive and emotional energy than most people realize. It affects sleep. It affects relationships. It affects the quality of attention you bring to your life because some part of you is always managing it. When it ends, what arrives in its place is not just financial security. It is something closer to peace. A settled quality in the day-to-day that people who have never owned their home outright genuinely cannot imagine until they have felt it. No investment return is listed on any spreadsheet in units of peace. But people who have paid off their homes will tell you, almost universally, that it is the most valuable thing the payoff produced. Not the cash flow. Not the net worth increase. Not the financial flexibility. The peace. If this video found you at the right time, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it. I will see you in the next one. Owning your home outright is more than a financial achievement. It's a milestone that gives you greater freedom, flexibility, and peace of mind. But what you do next matters just as much as getting there. Whether you choose to invest, save for retirement, travel, or simply enjoy a life without mortgage payments, the opportunities are now in your hands. So here's the question. If your mortgage disappeared tomorrow, what would be your very first move? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy videos about smart money habits, financial freedom, investing, and building long-term wealth, make sure to subscribe. Because the best financial decisions aren't always the fastest, they're the ones that keep paying off for years to come. See you in the next video.